Wow, that's like, is that like a
It's
bad
loaded.
joke? That's
It's
like,
loaded.
Is that the song? Is that I'm not?
Take it however you want.
I'm not very superstitious. I used to be.
Okay.
We wear the same underwear. We had a winning streak. We wore the same underwear. Never washed them.
That's cool.
But no, I'm not a superstitious person. It's a good song though.
It's a good song. What was the emphasis today?
Just kind of get right. You know, obviously, yesterday was an off day. Today we split our guys up. Got a lot of skill work in, some defensive drills, some offensive scripts. We touched on the Clippers a little bit. And then obviously we'll have shoot around in the morning to try to turn the page and get ready for them. But just coming home, 2 days in between, 5 and 7 we're coming out of, and going into another back-to-back. I think being smart about how much we're pushing our guys right now. A lot of guys are playing big minutes, so something we got to keep an eye on.
Get the sense that, like you just said, it's a lot more lighter in general. Is that more of an emphasis this year specifically with this group, or is that just something that you've always kind of wanted to get to?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's funny, the league has changed so much in my 20 plus years in, Ryan. You know, like back in the day, training camp was 2-a-days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you practiced all year long. And nowadays, like training camp is like, you don't do 2-a-days, and once you get to January, very rarely do you have 2 days in between games or you have practice time, but I don't even think we're doing anything live right now. Somebody rolls an ankle at practice because they're doing something live, you know, like I'd rather guys be available for the games, but also just being aware of the schedule you're coming out of and the schedule you're going into. And we know that January is a very demanding schedule, a lot of back-to-backs, so I have to be smart. So I think we've done that the last few years, and I think it's really benefited us.
Playing Jamal with that second unit, having him out there with Bones, how do you think that's going, and kind of where do you want to see that group go, you know, over the next couple games?
Yeah, I was sat with Jamal on the flight home from Minnesota. Like, I feel for Jamal right now. You know, on one hand, I think it's so important to have Nikola or Jamal on the floor at all times when Jamal is playing, but it also really chops up Jamal's minutes. You know, he starts the game, he plays 5 to 6, comes out, goes back in, starts the second quarter, comes out, he goes back in. That's hard to get a rhythm. And but I think Jamal and Bones together has the makings of something effective. You know, I still think there's some growing pains. Bones is a ball dominant player, and Jamal needs the ball. So I have to help those guys and making sure I'm getting the ball in Jamal's hands. And those guys have to get better in terms of just trusting each other and playing with and off of each other. So I think it's had some really good moments, but I do think Harrison that it can get and will get better as the more they play.
When you say it has something effective in the makings, what specifically are you hoping to unlock with them on the court together?
Well, you have two guys that, I mean, are scorers, playmakers, can get where they want on the floor. That's hard to guard for other teams. So I think, and then you have other guys out there, whether it's Bruce or Christian, Vladko, Zeke, DJ, whoever. But, I mean, Bones can get his shot whenever. So can Jamal. And they have to learn to play for themselves, but also to get other guys involved. But I think just having those two types of dynamic scorers out there at the same time, that should help that group be able to score. That bench unit has gone on some really big droughts this year. With Jamal and Bones out there, that should never be the case.
How tempting is it to put Mike in there with that group, just so that Jamal's minutes remain a little bit more consistent?
Yeah, I mean, and we were doing that for a little while.
Right.
You know, Michael was a guy we were getting out early and then getting him back in the game. But I think as Jamal's gotten into a rhythm, I think Jamal is a huge difference maker, as is Michael. But I think it allows Jamal to kind of, with the starting group, facilitate, get his shot, especially late. But that second unit, he's got to be a focal point. That's where we can really try to unleash all the different ways that he can score. We're going that way right now, but we could always go back to Michael at some point.
It's easy.
No, the biggest challenge, like Christian Braun's got to play.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get Christian in the game, I really do. When we're fully healthy, it's really hard because you're playing, Jamal, KCP, and Michael. Then off the bench, getting Jamal out to play with Bones and Bruce. We tried to play small one game that did not go well, so we've gone away from that. But I feel bad, because Christian is a guy that every time he gets a chance to play, he plays well, and the minutes that he gets are so impactful for his development. So that to me right now is probably the greatest challenge, is finding a way when we're completely healthy of getting Christian in. And to play 10, 11 guys is hard. And the deeper you go, obviously you can start playing 9.5 guys to 8 guys, but the great thing about Christian, he doesn't complain, he stays ready, and when called upon, he goes out there and does the job.
It was a rough December for the most part for Bones Highland, but he strung some quality performances together, I think. Do you concur in your mind what goes into his turnaround here?
I concur.
There we go.
I concur.
My proper English.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, he was struggling to make shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when we think of Bones Highland, we think of his scoring, his shot-making ability. It gives that second unit a huge boost when he's making shots, scoring, pulling up for 3. But what I like lately is that it's not just the scoring. And you guys have heard me say it all year long, like, don't be a specialist.
Right.
If you're not scoring the ball, find a way to contribute in other ways. Run your team, be a playmaker, get stops on defense, compete, guard your man, contest, sprint back on defense. And I think for all players, especially a young player like Bones, like finding a way every night to be a complete basketball player. So now he's making shots, but the other night he rebounded the ball at a high level. He's playmaking, he's getting guys involved, and he has the makings and all the potential to be a all-around type of a player. So I agree, he's off to a good start, and hopefully that can continue.
Is Aaron's shoulder okay? It looked like he grabbed a little bit.
I think it's okay. I think that's exactly what it is. Okay, it's not great. He's such a tough guy. I mean, he goes out there and had how many rebounds did he have? 16?
Yes.
12 offensive, 6 assists. I think maybe 1 or 0 turnovers. Struggled to finish shots around the basket. So there's definitely something there, but it's not prohibiting him from going out there and playing, and he's not going to make any excuses, which is what I love about Aaron. So this time of the year, man, like Nicola's banged up. Aaron's banged up. All of our guys are. We played a lot of games, 37, I believe, and schedule's been pretty demanding. So we just got to find a way to fight through it and get guys as healthy as possible. And that's why a day like today is no contact, light, while getting some productive work in.
I was going to ask you about Aaron. How much do you appreciate how hard he plays just every single night, it seems? Because you've talked about that even this year, getting guys to play hard and bring the energy every single night. But with him, it doesn't seem like that's ever kind of in doubt.
Yeah, it's never a concern, right? I mean, like, when you're going to get from Aaron every night. So I can't say enough positive things about Aaron in the year he's had, from how hard he's played, from how selfless he's been, and how effective he's been. I mean, the guy's stat line every night and the efficiency in which he's doing so is remarkable, and he just flies under the radar. Everybody talks about Nicola, rightfully so. They talk about Jamal Murray, they talk about this and that, and Aaron's just kind of rock steady. He goes out and gets 16 to 18 points every night, close to 10 boards every night. He playmakes. And as I said, Harrison, he hasn't fought it the whole year. He's never like, me. How can I help this team win? That's all he cares about. And playing hard is a big part of that.
How many teams are playing well right now?
How many teams?
Yeah, in the NBA. You get the sense looking around at all the box scores and all the numbers right now that there is no team that is playing above and beyond like a Warriors of past years.
Well, yeah, I think the parity, right? I mean, Boston comes on a West Coast trip, and we beat them in a hell of a game. And OKC beat them last night. I think teams have gone on mini runs, have been unable to sustain it. Another team will go on a run, and I think that the parity in the Western Conference and the whole NBA, for that matter, is crazy right now. So I don't know how many. Brooklyn's playing great. I'd probably say that the one team that jumps to mind is Jacques Vaughn, and the job that he's doing in Brooklyn with that team is they're on fire. I don't know when the last time they lost a game is. So they're playing great, and I think everybody else is just kind of still finding their way. And the great thing about it is I don't think we've played our best, and we currently sit atop the Western Conference, knowing that we have room to grow and room to improve. So that's a pretty good situation to be in.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.